We start with your top 8, and what do you know? A new number 1. The Rams moving on up.
Yeah, they were so dominant, man, from stem to stern in that game. Their offensive line, the play calling, I just thought they were more impressive than the Saints.
MJD's trying to figure out stem to stern right now.
It still baffles me.
Patriots on the road for the AFC Championship game. It's the GOAT against the likely MVP. Two very different quarterbacks, but two similar results. Which quarterback would you rather have this week? I love this question because there's really no wrong answer. Is it Brady or Mahomes, MJD?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes just because Tom Brady, since 2004, Elliot, correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't won a AFC Championship game on the road.
That's right.
That's tough.
Well, he hardly ever plays on the road, by the way. He's at 2.
No, he's at 3.
3?
He's lost a few, yeah.
Okay.
And that concerns me. And then when I look at their road split this year, they're 3-5. Even though he's played well, they're 3-5. And so now I'm concerned, like, is it the road that's bothering the Patriots? Is it the traveling? Is it those type of things playing in different elements? I don't know. So with that being said, I know Patrick Mahomes will be able to play in that cold, snow, whatever it is, because there will be in Kansas City. They have a chance, and they're familiar with this foe as well.
I'm going with the dude right over your left shoulder here, Patrick Mahomes. I think he answered the call he had this year. And I'm not talking about starting for the first time. I'm talking about this game right here late in the year against the Baltimore Ravens. Best defense in the league, comes into your house. Things aren't going well. You're not necessarily winning or playing from ahead like you're used to. And what do? You go out and make a couple ridiculous throws. Like this one right here, which is uber clutch to Tyreek Hill to beat this team in overtime. That, to me, I don't think the Patriots defense is going to be any stronger test than the Ravens for this game.
Mahomes has been awesome. Mahomes has 1 playoff start under his belt. Tom Brady has 38. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. You're taking second-year Patrick Mahomes over Brady?
The no-look pass got me. That's all I'm saying.
Stop it.
And you know what, Tom? Use this.
He's earned it.
Use this, Tom, because I know everyone thinks that you guys are bad, even though I don't think you guys are bad. I just think you guys don't play well on the road this year.
Tom Brady, 12 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions on the road. Yeah. And I want to leave you with this number.
That's why I said you guys.
Tom Brady, 18 years older than Patrick Mahomes.
So who are you taking, Tom Brady?
I would take Tom Brady. All right, it wasn't quite the Chiefs in the Rams game, but still 80 combined points the last time they met. Give me an X factor for the NFC Championship.
To me, for the Rams, it's their offensive line. The way they played against the Cowboys, Dan, it was incredible. Now, the misdirections, the motions, the Cowboys linebackers were lost in space, physically and figuratively. But the offensive line blew the Cowboys front 7 off the ball. I mean, Todd Gurley was running through holes a truck could drive through. And if they play like that and Jared Goff doesn't get touched, Rams are going to win this game.
Havenstein, Saffold, Whitworth, all with their first playoff. I have it next time.
For me, it goes to the Rams defense because the Saints offense is playing at such a high level right now. Drew Brees and those guys, they've been stifled in some games, but they found the way to get the rhythm. It has to be Marcus Peters. And because of what happened in that game, the last time he played, Mike Thomas went off. And, I was sitting down with Michael Irvin. I think that was his playmaker of the week that week. And so in this situation, as Marcus Peters, you have to step up and answer the bell because they're going to try to find a way to get Marcus Peters on, or get Michael Thomas on you as much as possible, Marcus Peters. So you challenge Coach to get some gumbo. Well, it's time to sit down and eat this thing down in the bayou. I'll be there with you.
He obviously did not like what Sean Payton said after that game, said it is gumbo week. Here we come as a tweak of the assistants deleted. But we have all seen it. I know a lot of people thought the Eagles would last forever with Nick Foles, but they are out, along with the Chargers, the Colts, and the Cowboys. Which of those teams, though, most likely to make a Super Bowl run next season?
It has to be Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, a team that has a ton of cap space, a great offensive line. You have some runners on the back. You have T.Y. Hilton. You can obviously go out and try to fix that defense, find a pass rush if you like, or go get a guy by the name of Le'Veon Bell to help in that backfield. Maybe even make a trade or two for a receiver that's unhappy.
Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell on the Colts next year. That would be awesome.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you here, although I do love the Colts leadership, GM and head coach, but I also love the Eagles leadership, GM and head coach, and the quarterback. I know we've been all over the Nick Foles thing, and it's been wonderful, but Carson Wentz, next year will be his second year back from a knee injury, and MJD, you've talked to me about that a lot, that the knee needs a full year to really get stronger. His mobility was affected this year. I still think Carson Wentz is a really good player. This is a guy we were talking about as an MVP in 2017. They've got a decision to make on Jay Ajayi. They need a running game, but we've seen that Eagles defense play really well, and Zach Ertz was an all-pro level player this year. It's the Eagles for me.
I think if Nick Foles is out of the building, Carson Wentz doesn't have to look over his shoulder all the time in meetings and see this guy who won a Super Bowl and gets all this praise too. So that may help him, but it's still the Colts.
Where does Foles end up quickly?
Jacksonville.
Don't say Arizona.
Jacksonville.
You were thinking
maybe
Arizona,
Miami.
weren't you?
No,
He's not. Jacksonville. Tell you what, Dan, we're going on a double dipper here, Power Trip. This thing looks like a seismograph. I'm a little nervous here, but the Rams started at the front 2. Saints were 3 early in the year. You saw the Saints had dipped some rough games. Rough game against the Browns, but they blew out the Redskins here. I moved them up to 3. But you know what? These teams played each other. The Saints handled them. You remember that game in New Orleans. Rams dropped down in the cleanup spot. Later in the year, we saw the Rams get a little bit vulnerable. Okay, Jared Goff wasn't playing well. The Saints had a tough win over Pittsburgh. They finished 1. Rams finished 3. Got playoff wins. Now they're meeting in the conference championship game. MJD, what's our balance of power look like?
Well, Elliot, first of all, you made a great correction here. You got the Rams at 1 and the Saints at 2. I'm going to show you why you're right, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. Here we go. Let's start it off. Quarterback, Drew Brees. We're going to give that to the Saints. Yes, okay. Running backs where we're a little torn, but I think the addition of C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley, it just makes the Rams so much better. So I'm going to give the running backs to the Rams
Can you just so easily do that? What about Alvin Kamara's ability in the passing game? He makes the defense declare what it's going to do. It's not all about stats.
It's not always about stats, but it is in this balance of power. Okay, wide receiver, tight end. You have Michael Thomas for the Saints, but then you have a plethora of guys for the Rams. So we'll go give the receiving core
with you there.
to the Rams. I just think they have 4 or 5 guys that can
What are you doing here?
Defense. Aqib Talib has come back, and that team has turned into a top 5 defense.
Top 5?
Top 5. Look at the stats. I'm trying to tell you. When Aqib Talib's in there, they're allowing almost half the number of points they've been giving up. They lost 100 yards down from what they were averaging. Aqib, I don't know what it is about this young man, but he's come in and done a great job.
I don't know, man. Around week 10, the Saints defense started balling. They started balling. Every week it was under 20 points. Besides the week 17 game against Carolina, that didn't matter. Last week, we saw the Eagles. We're showing you B-roll right now. The Eagles got off to a hot start. What happened? The Saints held the fort, and they won the game. That's what you do in the postseason. I'd give this to the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to the Rams. The defense to the Rams. And, Coach, you know the rules. Yeah. You got a ring, you get the ding. And, Coach Sean Payton talking that trash. I'm trying to go eat some gumbo, too, folks. And that's what it is. I think that's why you put him there, because of the addition of C.J. Anderson, the return of Aqib Talib. That's why they're number 1.
Overall, I'm okay with this. Only on the defense do I disagree, but the Rams are a good team top to bottom.
Yeah, I wonder where Sony Michel will end up in MJD's playoff running back power rankings.
4.
There he is at number 4, and number 1, hard to argue with Todd Gurley at number 1.
I really feel it is, and I know Elliot's going to argue with me, but when you can give a guy 14 carries, he gives you 100 yards and a touchdown, to me, that says that what it tells me is I don't have to give you a whole lot for you to be productive. And that's important in these type of games, a guy that can be the home run hitter. And that's why Todd Gurley is there. Obviously, Alvin Kamara and his versatility is number 2. Number 3, people are all upset about C.J. Anderson, but I mean, look what he's done. 400 yards in 3 games? My goodness, that man's running. Then obviously Sony Michel, what he was able to do last week and what he was able to do late in the year helps him out. Then Mark Ingram picks it up because he's going to have to be a workhorse, and I've seen him do it before.
A couple things that I noticed here. No Chiefs running back. Nice big game against the Colts.
Damian Williams.
Yeah, Sony Michel and C.J. Anderson, I would probably swap. I'm wondering if he's going to hit the wall here at some point.
Why?
But why?
Yeah, why?
Because he was claimed off the scrap heap. Yeah, you have a couple big games in a row, but he could get a little tired. He's had big workloads.
But he's been on the team
Hang
all
on,
year.
but this is the big one. This is the big one to me because Alvin Kamara makes the defense dictate what it's going to do. He's huge in the passing game. And right now, Todd Gurley's not even the most productive running back on his own team. I think Kamara is going to be huge for the Saints this weekend. And Dan, you had your Alvin Kamara workload from the first 4 weeks.
Well, it's pretty incredible. Without Mark Ingram, 154 scrimmage yards per game to go along with 6 touchdowns. He was awesome.
You know what the problem is? They have Mark Ingram, so you're not going to see that production.
But Mark Ingram can play.
And I'm going to tell you this, though. This is why I put him there. Todd Gurley didn't play the last 2 games of the season, still led the league in touchdowns.
Great player.
And was still one of the top rushing attacks. So he's back healthy again. You have a dual threat that no one wants to see the Rams have. Play action pass is going to be tough. Todd Gurley's the guy.
Elliot, that NFC Championship game, Power Trip was so good. Can we do one for the AFC now?
I think we can. We're going double dip again. 2 teams here, Chiefs and Patriots. Started the Patriots in top 5. Chiefs were starting a new quarterback, suspect defense. I had them at 17. But you saw that Kansas City started climbing. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat San Francisco. They looked good on offense. Patriots had some big losses. Then they blow out Miami and showed what the Dolphins were. They go up to 6. Both teams stayed near the top most of the year. But a couple things I want to point out here. Patriots beat the Vikings this week. only gave up 10 points, showed us that their defense is pretty decent. Meanwhile, Kansas City, slight dip, lost to the Chargers, lost in Seattle. I didn't punish them that much for that. So they ended up at 4. New England ended up at 5. And here they are in the AFC Championship game. And we're doing a balance of power.
Yeah, you know, just like the last block, I have to say a little bit. This is history. They've said the dynasty.
Yeah.
This.
New era, huh?
Oh, it's going to be crazy. So I can't wait to get in this. Quarterbacks. Everybody's all crazy. Tom Brady has 5 rings. I get it. But it's about this year and this year only. And I'm going to give this to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Agreed with you.
50 TDs, 5,000 yards passing,
Incredible.
some amazing throws. Awesome. Running backs. Okay.
Come on.
It has to be the Patriots. We're going to get this to the Patriots, especially what they did last week. James White, they got Rex Burkhead, a lot of guys.
Michel.
Receivers, tight ends. Okay, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins.
No more Gordon.
Exactly. We're going to give this one to the Chiefs. Now, the defense is where it gets a little tricky. This is where Elliot doesn't like to agree with me on, but I'm going to say the Chiefs because they were able to go into a team that was coming in real hot, that was run the ball, at will, one of the best offensive lines, shut them down right away, found a way to get sacks to the quarterback, stop the run. I mean, you talk about a team that gave up 18 sacks all year.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this B-roll of guys just getting beat up.
I agree. Colts offensive line was great. Justin Houston played his tail off in this game. But I need to see more than one game from them. With the Patriots, it's been a catalog this season. They're underrated, man. 7th in points allowed. Who cares about yards? It's about points and about takeaways. 7th in points allowed, tied for 5th in takeaways. I like New England.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to the Chiefs. Bing. There we go. Yeah, that's how it works. This is my segment.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. All right, and then obviously, listen, Andy Reid, I love you. I love fast food.
You've picked Andy Reid over Belichick before.
I did, but this is when Andy Reid has a week to prepare, an extra week to prepare. But you know what? Coach Belichick has the rings. He gets the ding. You know that. That's how it goes. But, Elliot, you hit it on the head again. Look at that. I can't believe we agreed. You telling people we don't agree. We always agree right now. That's the way it goes down.
That's why this segment's so good, because you guys just totally agree on everything. All right, it's time for us to hand out some awards. We're going to start with Coach of the Year, Elliot.
Well, our video's given. I'm going to go with Frank Reich. I got Pete Carroll 2nd. I've got Matt Nagy 3rd and Anthony Lynn 4th right now, and probably Sean Payton after that. But to me, Frank Reich definitely deserves this. He turned this team around. A lot of leadership after they got off to a terrible start.
Yeah, and you picked him where in your initial power rankings?
Stop it. 37.
Dead last. MJD, your offensive rookie of the year?
Oh, it's going to be Saquon Barkley. I know a lot of people love Baker Mayfield and what he was able to do with the Cleveland Browns, but this young fella here was productive throughout. You know, broke scrimmage records, led the league in scrimmage yards as a rookie on a team that didn't have Odell Beckham the last month and a half of the season. I mean, he played well. He played lights out. He definitely deserves it.
3rd most ever for a rookie running back. Elliot, defensive rookie of the year.
I go with Darius Leonard, man. This is so hard. Early in the year or midseason, I thought it was Leighton Vander Esch. The guy was making plays all over the field. I thought he was going to be first-team All-Pro. Then I thought it'd be Derwin James. But this guy did it all season long for the Colts, and nobody expected the Colts defense to be this good. A lot of credit to him.
You really want a shirt and stuff from them, huh? I get it.
Darius Leonard was awesome. Finally, MJD, MVP.
It has to be the guy who throws a no-look pass in the game, Patrick Mahomes. 50 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards passing. Gets his team to the #1 pick. Now, we all were concerned, Elliot, and I was right there with you, not knowing what this young fellow was going to be able to do. But the way he was able to play and call him this game here against the Rams, I was like, my goodness, he's serious.
Right out
he
the
definitely
gate,
deserves it. Yeah.
You love that no-look pass. That was like the 12th most impressive thing he did this season. All right, time for our locks of the week. Elliot, go.
Kansas City Chiefs making the Super Bowl for the first time since the 1969 season. What you're seeing right here, Super Bowl 4 against the Vikings. That's Lynn Dawson right there. And I tell you what, this was the last Super Bowl the AFL, NFL, and the Chiefs won it against the Vikings. And you know what? They're going to be back for the first time in a long time.
Love this old footage.
Wow.
JD, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. The Gronkowski goes for 100 yards and a touchdown. He has to play huge in this game, and I think Tom Brady leans on him, especially in the cold weather. Again, I know they were able to run the ball, and he did a great job run blocking, but he has to catch the ball and get in the end zone in order for them to win this game.
I love this. I just want to say, people that think that Gronk's done, man, he still makes some massive blocks in the running game, too. There's more to playing tight end than just catching the ball.
No, totally agree. He's a great blocker, and he's going to be awesome in the WWE at some point. All right, finally today, it's Elliot's closing arguments. We put 30 seconds on the clock, and Elliot makes his case for a couple of teams that we did or didn't talk about today.
I got a lot of notes here. Okay, Bears. Yeah, criticize a guy for inspiring people after he makes the biggest mistake of his career. Come on, Bears, you can do better than that. Cowboys, hey, how about some design runs for Dak? You're beating yourself. Colts, GM Chris Ballard, give all the love in the world to Frank Reich. You did a heck of a job with that team. Chargers, they will be back. And lastly, Eagles, Nick Foles. You never undermined your QB1. You never undermined your team. You never made it about you. Congratulations. Heck of a 2-year run, even in a losing year.